afford more house, like I think that is a very strong point, but just having the ability to reduce the amount of debt, to get into a better program, to provide access to people who don't understand how to access it, I think that's where the real value is.
Yeah. And there's 20 million borrowers who need access to these federal programs that are not in them. And so I agree with you that there's greater value. There's significantly greater value. However, I also want to share some data with you. We know that if people don't have a pain point, which is that they're going to be denied a home, they're not going to afford enough home, that they don't have a professional saying you need to do this, then and they don't have a pain point, they're not going to do it. So it's an opportune time, as you know, as a loan officer, and you are the financial advisor to the common person. It's an opportune time to intervene with someone who may have never thought about their overall financial picture, right? That they need to start to get in order if they want to become a homeowner, because a lot of people can't afford a home if they're going out and, I don't know, eating out every single night. Whatever their lifestyle currently is, they're probably not going to be able to maintain it and also buy a home they can afford in this market. So it's like an opportune time to help a person understand what is the adjustments they need to make to achieve home ownership, right? And so I think even though our tool is extremely powerful and moves beyond the mortgage buying process, it's an opportune time to intervene because it is the most powerful time in a person's life to intervene. So that's kind of my overview. I agree with you, yet at the same time, there's more.
Pretty good. You've thought that through. I agree. Okay.
This is what the purpose of this lender tool does. And you can always see how this works by just pulling up my demo account, which is myloansense.com/lender demo, right? The point of this is to provide an estimate to a borrower. I don't know. We can use the borrower's real numbers. Do you want to use their numbers, or should we?
Yeah, I've got somebody in front of me.
Okay, awesome. Let's use their numbers. Let's do it.
Okay, what do you need? You need income.
Yep.
Income is 6280.94. 0.94.
Okay.
Sorry, 6280. Sorry, it's just 6280. That's fine. Just 6280. It's fine.
Okay. What is their student loan balance?
Oh, I'm sorry. The annual income, 75,360.
Okay, because I put no student loans, it's freaking out. Let me just say, it's like you want to use me, but you don't have any student loans. Okay, say it again. 72 what? 72D2560. Is that what you said?
75360 annually.
And this is income or student loan balance?
Income. That's annual income.
What is their student loan balance?
Okay, student loan balance is. Okay, I just got to add it up. This person's got 17,061.
Okay. Who is this person's 17,761? This person, this is my question. Who is this person's federal servicer?
This is Ed Financial Services.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just looking at it in my origination software. I can pull the bureau if that.
No. That's good. Okay, so this person, and this is what's great about our calculator. This person, because the student loan federal programs are based on balance to income, this person will not increase their affordability, or there's not really a potential to reduce their student loan balance to increase their purchasing power or to reduce their student loan payment because they earn enough income to pay this $197 per month payment. So this is how that works. So we actually, there's very little, I mean, we can provide them some refinance options, but there's very little.
It's good to know.
No, it's very little. And of course it's transparent, right? We reduce student loan payments for 60% of borrowers. So we're not trying to say it's going to work for every single borrower. We recommend 0.75% of student loan balance to income or higher. Those are the people who are most likely to be advantaged by alternative payoff plans. If they earn $75,000 and have only $17,000 of debt, which is low balance to income, then the best bet is to figure out how to reduce the interest or pay it off quicker, right? But there's no federal program that will actually give them loan forgiveness because they are not showing a high balance to income, which is a sign of it's hard. That's a sign that it's going to be hard to pay.
So we
right?
need a higher. So I don't have too much income. I just have too small a debt. So what if it was $40,000?
Okay, so here I'm just putting 40. I just put 45. We can make it 40.
Sure.
But the point is like, so it will tell you like, is there a reduction potential, right? So what it's doing here, so you understand how the system and this tool works is, and of course it's like assuming an interest rate, which we can check, but also family size. Let's say the family size is bigger, right? And you'll see the numbers change. Like if we go from a family size of 1 versus a family size of 4, it doesn't have as big of an impact here, right? It depends on what the debt to income is. But because it's basically saying that person meets the minimum threshold for a family of 4. But basically what we're saying here is, if what we're comparing is what is the fully amortized student loan payment based on this interest rate, which is $444 on a $40,000 federal student loan at 6% interest, versus what would the federal government say they could be paying if they had this income with this debt amount, with this family size and this interest rate. So what we're estimating is, can we reduce this person's payment? It's estimated that we can reduce this person's payment by $244 a month, which by reducing this $244 a month, it's estimated based on these advanced settings mortgage loan stuff, which by the way can be changed, but it's basically just to make it simple, is we're estimating that this will improve affordability for this individual or this family by $41,000. So the point of this tool is to estimate that increased affordability, and by putting their information here, which we don't have to, but basically, I'll show you by just putting my own information even. We basically, I'm putting in my own information, and I don't care if my own information ends up on the internet. That's fine because it's all over the internet already. So we say, hey, we produce this total cost analysis, which, I mean, if you're a Mortgage Coach customer, you would love that. If you're not, we don't produce a total cost analysis, but it doesn't matter. You just have two different versions where it highlights, okay, what is this amount going to be versus, it does use the optimal blue rates, right? Like what is the loan amount going to be? And it shows it in the visuals as well. Like what mortgage difference can you afford basically, right? And then basically, this is the part that invites the client. Like, are you going to pay $197 for the client, or are you going to say, no, they'll pay for themselves? Like, whatever the decision is, like, you just click on an option and then it emails the client the invite to start in the Loan Sense experience. So let me pull up my email to see if I've received this invite. Sometimes it takes a minute, just depends on how many emails we're sending all at once. So I emailed myself this invite. So I got myself an invite earlier today because we were testing it. Visit's going to take a minute. But basically what it says, hello, Kat, your loan officer. The tool that we were testing earlier was from a loan officer from Sierra Pacific Mortgage, right? So it says you're a loan officer, and it'll have the specific loan officer's info at the bottom of there as well. But basically, So your loan officer invited you, and it will allow them to review the total cost analysis if this lender is a Mortgage Coach customer. Then it will give them the steps to start, and they come straight to the LoanSense platform. And the LoanSense platform, this is the customer side of the platform, and it tells them before they start, you're going to sign up, answer a few questions, upload your loans, and get a plan. So the customer facing side is they sign up for an account. So you get this part of it. Because I'm already logged on Chrome with this username, which is my demo account, which is perfect. What the consumer ends up doing is, let me shrink my screen because my laptop screen is does this crazy thing where it just like totally zooms in. So what this does is we allow the consumer to answer these questions like, what is their educational level? What is their marital status? What is their income? What is their spouse's income? If they're married, what is their spouse's student loan amount? And then what this does is then we let them upload their student loans. Kyle, so you can understand, it looks like an experience like this where they connect with the federal student loan system, provide username, password, connect and sync. We don't save any credentials for data security reasons, and we will never pull their data again or without their permission. It's literally just to capture their current loan standing. Once they connect and sync, what ends up happening, which I'm not going to do because I don't have my password right now, but basically what it does is it recommends what they should be enrolling in across every single federal student loan type. This person had undergrad loans, grad school loans, and now they have Parent Plus loans. So they literally have 3 different paperwork filings this person's going to have to do to reduce that monthly payment. So we show them, and by the way, the video that comes up right away if you log on for the first time explains in 2 minutes like that we recommend a specific plan and what the overview of this information means. And we give them tool tips, right? So we say, hey, you're going to move from a $436 monthly payment to a $229 monthly payment. The total you'll pay on this loan goes from $52,000 to about $27,000. And the total projected forgiveness is $23,000, and your tax obligation on this is none because Biden has actually eliminated tax obligation on all student loan forgiveness actually until 2025. And they think it's going to be a permanent erasing basically of taxing any forgiveness. But the consumer, what they do is they click enroll and they consent to enroll in the recommended plan across the 3 loan types. And it's like a TurboTax for student loans experience where they answer these questions. Based on how they answer it, we'll even tell them the best proof of income to upload here. They click submit and they get eDoc signatures to actually e-sign, and then we e-fax in this paperwork to the student loan, to their student loan servicer. The best part is if you're a loan officer integrated in our system, as soon as they click that submit button, you'll be receiving the emails to invite them to sign up. You'll receive an email once they sign up, and then you'll receive an email once they enroll with the improved debt to income information. If they actually want to speak to someone, like they have questions, they want to talk to an expert or they chat or whatever, if they end up scheduling a call with someone on the LoanSense side, they have the discretion to add you onto that call. If they would like you to be there or they would like you to be in the know, you obviously don't have to come and they don't have to invite you, but that's an option. We ask, who's your loan officer? Do you want to invite them? So at least you're in kind of the loop of like what is happening, right, with the student loan side of things. And then once they enroll, we share back the improved debt to income data with you, the loan officer. And we know that because they've come through our platform through your link. So if you look at this like link here, like we know who the partner in this case is James. Like this person, like we know this person is coming through this loan officer, right? So all the emails that get sent will include the loan officer as well. So that's a quick overview of like the consumer platform. What's great is after they close on the mortgage, LoanSense is still going to be here to help them manage this paperwork after they close, So we're an ongoing support because you have to file this paperwork annually because it's based on income.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's just the single page app, or that document. It's just that single page document that they fill out. And then you guys handle the back end for them. And they go through this process once a year.
Yep. Or if they're between jobs, like they're between jobs, become unemployed, lose their job, and they have a decrease in income, they should also come back and re-enroll.
Okay. And so as their income, what happens if their income goes up? Do they not re-enroll? Like, how do you advise them in that case?
No, they should always re-enroll. Even if their income, because here's the thing, their income, depending on the plan, but it's capped at the 10-year fully amortized amount. What they don't want to do is not file, because then what happens is all that interest the government is putting them on track to forgive will capitalize. So if they want to benefit from a federal plan and can benefit, and they decide they want to enroll, they have to commit to enrolling until they pay off their loans or until their loans are forgiven. Those are the only two options, right? It's like, kind of like, if you pay off your loans because you made more money and decide I want to pay it off, then you obviously don't have to enroll anymore. Or you make the 120 payments or the 240 payments, depending on who your employer is, and the remaining balance gets forgiven. So you have to file until one of those two actions happen. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Because you're basically enrolling in a plan that says, hey, government, consider my income. And so the government's going to say, okay, we'll consider your income on an annual basis. So you commit to consider your income. So now submit your proof of income, right?
And so you'll submit your, well, I'm just thinking about people who don't want to see their payments go up just because their income.
Well, that's why we strategize with them. And that's why a lot of people schedule calls, but we give them also an entire library, an entire digital Q&A that answers the most pressing questions. Let me go pull up so you can see. Everyone gets invited as soon as they start our program, but basically we answer, this is an advisory training, but the program they get, sorry, all courses. Oh, I made it invisible today by accident. So I can't show you that like right at this moment because I'd have to log in. But this laptop is not logged into that account. But basically, listen, their digital Q&A answers the most pressing questions. Their loan, their payment, this is what we do. When they enroll, if they end up speaking to someone or whether they hear from our digital Q&A, we tell them when they need to file next. People are not going to remember what action to take, but they will remember when to come back to us. So an example of pro tips we tell people is you must come back to us when you change employers. You must come back to us between jobs, because between jobs, they make no money. So they file and say, I make no money, which gives them a year of $0 payments. Which if you're going to maximize your loan forgiveness, coming back when you make $0 is the optimal time to file your paperwork. So we tell them the optimal time, like if you have a child that's born and you have an increase in dependency, that's when you file. So we tell them times they need to file. So if it's on an off time, like right here, this person's paperwork due date is 5/16/2022, but let's say they're between jobs in February of 2022. This person will know, okay, I come back and I just click, I have to go re-upload. They basically have a re-enrollment process, but they re-upload their loans, they redo the process, right? So they go file for a second time. But the point is we educate people when they need to refile. Does that make sense? And it helps evade kind of like the question of like, well, what if my income goes up? It's like, well, if your income goes up, your payment will also go up. But your payment, here is an example, will never rise above, like here's 436. It's not going to rise above 436. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, these are all questions I would anticipate getting from somebody that I'd be referring into this.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You don't have to be the expert. which means, right, which means you should take and understand, and of course we promote that, but they can always chat us. They can literally schedule, like, you don't need to become the expert. In fact, if they schedule a call, whether you pay for the service or they pay for it, and they invite you, you can come and observe and see kind of the main the main pro tips we tell borrowers, and kind of how we help them oversee things. When the government, by the way, Kyle, sent out a mass PSLF waiver, we literally had our inbox full of people that forwarded, hey, the government sent out this PSLF waiver. Like, have I done everything to make sure I qualify for this, right? And we act as like continued support. We see what the most pressing questions are because we see a bunch of people send in their questions, and then we know what to build our weekly content around. But we're building weekly content, not just to answer consumer questions, but also geared towards lenders, of course. But the point is, we also come up with we also have weekly social media content. So if you follow us, we also upload our social media content onto the lender. We have a lender training program with lender ad copy, all kinds of resources for lenders as well. And we literally put a bunch of social media content and things you all can use, because you can literally just copy it and start, including direct-to-consumer webinars, because you could just take our slides, copy it, rebrand it, your lender name, and go give that webinar. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Okay, yeah, sign me up. I'm in.